Okay, you are going to be joining a lecturer at Stanford University. However, the individual in front of you is not the lecturer. He is going to introduce the lecturer, and he is going to create what the Greeks would call an ethos. So you have three components in any speech: logos, and ethos, and pathos. Okay, so logos is the word content. Pathos is the amount of enthusiasm or support or confidence that individual will display, their excitement about their topic. And of course, the ethos is the credibility, the believability. So every time a lecturer comes, usually at a university, someone gets up and talks a little bit about that individual. But before he does that, he's going to say some things in general. And I put the speed on slightly slower than normal. So if his speech sounds a little garbled, it's not the lecturer, it's not the individual doing the introduction. It's that I put the speed on about 75% to kind of slow it up a little bit so you can ponder the words and take them in a little better, okay? So this would be in the year 2010 at Stanford University, and he's going to introduce the main speaker. But before he does, he's got a few words to say.
Question, is there anybody here in the room tonight who has a cough or a fever? Because we're violating one of the most important rules of infection control. We're gathering together in this place, so let's hope.
Okay, he's making a joke out of it, but what was a joke is now reality in the year 2020. This was 10 years ago. Okay, it's a joke, but now it's a reality.
Hope we'll sustain ourselves. I hope you'll all be here next week. Now, I must say that in December, over the winter break, when I put together the course program and all the titles, as Kathy Gillum will remember, for this program and the ones that will follow, I did not at that point anticipate that we would be focusing tonight in part on H1N1 because that was December, and the whole issue about H1N1 really didn't happen until March or April of this year. And that really speaks to one of the dramatic changes that we're seeing, which is the emergence of
a dramatic change, the emergence of its drama. They create them as they go along in their imaginations, and they present them to the public under the guise of science, under the guise of credible speakers, supposed credible speakers. Okay, they emerge. They just come out of nowhere. Okay? They are created in the hoax-lie system. That's why they emerge. That's why they mutate. That's why they mix and match. And all the terminologies they have for why they keep the hoax virus stuff alive.
Of global infections. In fact, some years ago, the Institute of Medicine of the National Academy of Sciences put forward a study that said that there could be a change in longevity in the United States and indeed worldwide for two reasons. One, obesity.
Okay, no problem there. That's visible, and it's very clear that there are definite relationships between obesity and various types of diseases. Okay, that is very clear. There's no question there, no doubt. So you take a truth, then mix it with error. So the error is coming with number two.
And all the consequences related thereto. And the second, the emergence of global infections. And we are, as you know, at a time...
The emergence of global infections. They just come out of nowhere, and guess what? They disappear into nowhere.
Time when organisms emerging in one part of the world, and this is particularly true of flu, which does it every year,
Yeah, every year you can count on it. There's a new strain because there's a new campaign to advertise something new. So they keep you going to get your, quote, flu shots.
Migrate to others. And so this is an important saga. When we think about epidemics, we, of course, think about flu and we think about 1918, but there are many other.
Okay, this is what I call stacking. Okay, the major one they stack on is 1918. And they stacked 1918 on the Great Plague of Europe hoax, Black Plague, okay? So you don't have to really start with the Black Plague. You can start with 1918. That modernizes things much better. But really, the Great Plague of Europe was a hoax pushed backward in time. It didn't really happen, but because the people who control also write the history books, that was the foundation for the 1918 hoax. So this is called stacking. You take one hoax and stack another on top of that. So there's a whole bunch of boxes stacked up on the 1918 quote pandemic killer flu that happened simultaneously with World War I.
Epidemics that have taken place, and I mentioned cholera to you last week, and you can think about plague and so many other factors as well. But tonight we're going to focus on pandemics with a viral twist.
A viral twist. It started with, guess who? Chubby Checker! The viral twist. Come on, everybody, do the viral twist. A viral twist. Look at this little smile here. A viral twist. He's thinking of Chubby Checker.
Last week we focused on bacteria, and our speaker tonight, interestingly, Lucy Tompkins, is a world expert.
A world expert. How about that? Everybody better pay attention because we brought in a world expert. Little Snicker here, Snicker bar.
On bacterial infections. In fact, her research focuses on a GI organism that Julie Theriault did not speak about last week, which is an organism called Helicobacter pylori, which is a very fascinating that particular organism. Organism because it is associated with cancer, and this is one of the interplays between microorganisms and a risk for cancer. But despite the fact that she is an expert in this area, she's going to put on another hat tonight. She actually wears several here.
An expert. Let's say it again. world-renowned expert with a BS degree
at Stanford, in that she has been until recently the head of infectious diseases in the Department of Medicine. She is an Associate Dean of Academic Affairs in the School of Medicine. Tonight she'll not be talking about faculty challenges in behavior. But she's also the Director of Hospital Epidemiology, and that puts her right at the epicenter of influenza and other hospital or community-related infections. And she was there from the very beginning of this event. I remember communicating with her over the weekend when the first description of H1N1 took place in Mexico, just to check in and see what was going on. And she was quite clear that they had been working.
Notice how a lot of these things develop in the outer limits type thing. The current one we're dealing with came from in China, and the H1N1 is analyzed in Mexico, and so you don't really do much work in your own, quote, country, because people might actually start checking up on you.
All weekend on this problem. Dr. Tompkins is someone who's well poised to deal with these problems. She's both an MD and a PhD. Her MD comes from Dartmouth, her PhD from Georgetown. She's focused, as I mentioned, on bacterial pathogenesis. I've had the privilege of knowing her way before I came to Stanford, because she has been a national and international figure in infectious diseases for quite a long time, and we had the privilege for one short period to serve together on the board of directors of the Infectious Disease Society of America, a testament to her leadership as well. So I'm really pleased tonight to welcome Dr. Tompkins to take us through the journey of pandemic influenza in this century and the last, and beyond.
Well, Phil, there's one.
Lucy. Thank you for watching.